Let's go ahead and do a problem where there's the possibility where we're going to have to do synthetic division twice. And that's anytime you're higher than to the third power. So this one's to the fifth power. Anything higher than the third power, well, yeah, higher than the third power, there's the possibility that you may have to do synthetic twice on it. So this is one of those examples. Rather than having to list off my factors of p over the factors of q, I'm going to go ahead and try 1 and -1 first. At quick glance, I can tell there are only 2 negatives right here. Everything else is positive, and those 2 negatives are not going to be bigger than 18, so I am not going to try +1. I'm going to try -1. In order to do that, I'm going to switch the signs of anything that has an odd exponent on the x. So that's going to stay the same. This one's going to change to -3, and then we have 18. Well, -1 minus 4 is -5. That's minus another -4, or minus another 4 is -9. And then we've got -15, and then -18 plus 18 is 0. So we found it right on the first one. So I'm going to do my -1. I've got 1, -4, 4, -6, 3, and 18. And then I'm going to go ahead and just do my synthetics. I'll do that pretty quick right here. 5, 10, that's -9, 15, that's 18, and that's -18, and 0. Okay, now we're on to our next line. I'm not even going to write out my answer yet, and here's why. I'm going to write things off to the side. This answer right here will be x to the 4th minus 5x cubed plus 9x squared minus 15x plus 18. Problem with this is that there are an odd number of terms, which means grouping method will not work on it. So I'm going to have to find another 0 that works, and we're going to do synthetic a second time. So I can try, we already knew 1 didn't work. If 1 didn't work originally, it's not going to work again. But you can actually try -1 again. Sometimes it can work out twice. So I'm just going to switch the signs of the odd ones. Notice that doesn't work out. All of those are positive, which means we're going to have to find another factor that works. So let's do 18. Factors of 18 are 1, 2, 3, not 4, not 5, but 6, not 7, not 8, but 9, and so 9 and 2, and then 18. So we got all those factors. Over the factors of the bottom, or the leading coefficient will go on the bottom. So really it just means we're going to have positive -1, positive -2, positive -3, 6, and so on. Now, we actually learned something important when I did -1. Anytime I put a negative number into my odd exponents, that's going to make everything positive. So a negative number is not going to work right here. And that's just using Descartes' rule of signs. So I'm going to go ahead and just try 2 really quick. So 5 times 2 cubed plus 9 times 2 squared minus 15 times 2 plus 18. And so that's 16 minus 40 plus 36 minus 30 plus 18. So we've got, I'm going to kind of go out of order because I like doing that. This is going to be a positive 6 plus 18, which is 24. And this one is going to be a negative 24. And so negative 24 plus 24 is 0. So we found our next one. So I'm going to go ahead and put 2 in this box. Drop down that 1 and go add it. 3 times 2 is 6, negative 9, and negative 18 is 0. Now notice, after right here, you don't fill this one in. So at this point, there's a good chance we'll be able to use grouping method, but if not, you'd have to do it a third time. We're in luck. We're going to do grouping method, and you can kind of see because 1 and negative 3 are at least those coefficients don't factor down more. But 3 and negative 9, you can divide both of those by 3, and it'll match up with those first 2 coefficients. So I'm going to go ahead and start writing my factors. So I've got my x plus 1. from that first factor. I've got my x minus 2, and then I have x cubed minus 3x squared plus 3x minus 9. And we're going to go ahead and do grouping method on that, because I know it's going to work. In fact, actually, I'm not going to write those down, just because this is a lot of stuff to write down. I'm going to bring those down to the very end. X plus 1, x minus 2, and let's just factor this. So we've got x squared times x minus 3 when I factor out the greatest common factor. Greatest common factor of the second pair is 3, and then it's still x minus 3. We're in luck, they match up, so I have my x minus 3 and then x squared plus 3 when I factor out the common factor. And x squared plus 3 is quadratic, but 3 is not a perfect square, and I'm not asking you to go down to linear factors, so you are done.